how did house music become a central part of your life?
My life. So it started with drum and bass. When I was 16, 17, I discovered drum and bass kind of through my sister. She was a bit older, or she still is a bit older. And I really wanted to use my voice and I really wanted to sing, but I was actually really shy. You wouldn't think that now, but back then it took me a long time to even sing in front of people and sort of get that courage up. And when I went to drum and bass raves, I was like, oh, everyone's free, everyone's just lovely and just having there for a good time. And I was like, I wonder if I could sing to this. And I remember writing my first song when I was 16 to a drum and bass beat. And then my goal was to push myself and get on the mic. So I did. And I ended up being, I think at the time I was the only female vocalist in Newcastle doing it, because everyone else was just MCs or DJs. And some were producers back then, but you were either, back then was either a producer or a DJ. It was rare that there was two together. Okay. Like you did both things. Obviously these days it's changed a lot and you've kind of got to do it all, haven't you? So so it started with drum and bass, but at the same time house music was just sort of coming along the same lines as it, because I was like, oh, that's cool as well. Like I really I just had a real resonance with house music. I was like, oh, this is mint music as well. So yeah, it just sort of bounced alongside it. And then I started going to house nights and then meeting all the right people and the people who put on the bigger nights in Newcastle. And then I ended up working with a couple of them. And then I got my first release, which was 2004, years ago. And then the second one was 2005, which was on Satoshi Tommy's label. So it came out on record and everything. I was buzzing. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, the first one came out on record as well, but I was like, for me, that was a massive achievement, especially with how young. By then I was about 20, I think 19, 20. So it was a few years later. So yeah.
And you're like, I'm an official recording artist with a hard
I didn't even know those names then. I was just like, I want a tune. I want a tune on a record, like an actual record. Yeah, so yeah, it was a buzz. It was a real buzz.
Did songwriting come naturally? Like, were you a pianist or like that, or did you just find that melody just kind of came?
Well, I play piano, but I can't read music, so it's all by ear. And my dad is a musician, or he was for many, many years, professional musician, a singer and a songwriter. So it comes from him, but my mum used to also sing as well. She did a lot of singing, and she used to write poems. She was really good with words. So it comes from both of them. And I just when I was younger, just used to sit and explore songwriting and would just like journaling, just get it all off my chest and just write rhymes and whatever else. And I just loved doing it. I loved creating. When I found house music and whatnot, things came really quickly, like hooks and stuff came really quickly. And I think that's just my ear for music, my natural ear for music, which obviously I'm very grateful for. So yeah.
And this, because it's something that I find whenever occasions when I've produced, I've tried to write a vocal myself to add to it. And I've always just been like, oh, but they say, I think the hardest thing is actually that I find is melody almost. Because I'm like, I think if you can get a melody down, then we've all got words inside of us that we could put to it, but actually coming up with something that sits nicely against
what you've done.
An arrangement. Is really, really hard.
I think that obviously I don't produce. And if I had the time, I'd love to learn. But I'm really lucky that I've always felt like it's just in my soul and it's just come so naturally to me. Like a beat, I can write any sort of beat and I'm like, oh, I can hear or something, or little ad-lib parts. And yeah, my mum used to say, you're wasted in that house music. You should be doing proper music. I'm like, okay, Mom. But I loved it. So yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever think about doing like, I guess, pop? Did you ever have like a sort of like project that you wanted to explore in that lane?
Nah, I just thought when I was younger, I thought, oh, it's cheesy, it's crap, blah, blah, blah. But as I've got older, I actually respect a lot of pop songs because I think actually some of them are really well written. And I love loads of pop music. Sugar Babes, like some of Britney Spears stuff. I mean, I know she didn't write any of her own stuff, but loads of stuff. I was like, I appreciate it now I'm older. But I have written I used to sit at the keys. I went for a real phase in my life just writing proper songs. I call them proper songs. But I haven't gone back to that kind of music in a long time. But it keeps creeping back in. I'm like, oh, maybe I should be pouring my heart out again on the keys. Yeah, maybe one day.
I want to talk about some of your kind of releases and things that were significant and important to you. And obviously you've worked with lots of amazing artists and released on lots of amazing labels. How did those tend to come about? Has it generally been people reaching out to you, or have you proactively reached out to producers as well?
It's been a bit of both, really. I mean, if I'm honest, I went down to London to sort of follow the dream. Yeah, was that about 2012? And I was very lucky to meet Janssens straight away. And he's become a very good friend. And obviously he's blowing up at the minute and he's doing so good, which is so well deserved, because he's honestly one of the most hardworking producers in the industry. He really is. So I was lucky enough to fall straight into that friendship group. There's lots of them, and work with him. But really how everything sort of blew up was actually Mark Jenkins reaching out to me. And the irony is that he's a Geordie, living literally from South Shields, where I was in London. I thought, Christ, I didn't have to go all the way to London to meet a Geordie to work with, who literally opened every door, So we always joke about that. And me and Mark became very good friends and still are, even though I haven't seen him in a long time. But yeah, if it wasn't for him and obviously the Jamie Jones connection, and he was already a resident of Paradise and friends with Jamie and whatnot, that's when things really just went up a level because of Sirens, when we had Sirens out. So, and that was through him, weirdly, on my SoundCloud, which I never used to really post stuff on, but I had a couple of old sort of hip hop tunes on there and trip hop tunes. And he was like, I really like your voice. Would you be up for doing something? And I was like, yes, go on then.
So I'll see if I can fit you into my very busy schedule.
Go on then. Yeah. And he's a really daft Geordie like I am. So we're like, stupid crack in the studio and all the rest of it. And and Sirens was actually a happy accident. It was actually literally, he'd left the mic on record, and I was actually taking the mic out of myself, because I was like, this is before I was doing vocal coaching, by the way. But I was like, oh, I never warm up. And he was like, well, what do you do to warm up? I was like, you just go like, ooh, la, la, la. And I was literally just singing anything to whatever. And he recorded all of that. And he was like, hang on a minute, this actually sounds really sick over this beat. So he just got all of those little bits of me taking the mic out myself for not warming up properly. And then Sirens was born. I was like, wow. So, it was meant to be. It's a bit cheesy,
but it's that thing about being free. It's almost like that was you in your most playful state.
Well, this is it. Like, oh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The inner child coming out, as always.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of gratitude to Jenkins. I mean, he showed me, because I was still in London. He back then he was back up here with Kelly before they had their boys. So he was in London, but we didn't know each other then. And he gave me a copy of Logic. I had no clue how to use Logic. I was like, I used to just go to a studio and do a track with a producer, and then I would never hear anything again. Or I just did so much of that for years.
Yeah.
Or, nothing, a project would get going and then nothing would ever happen with it and blah, blah, blah. But he was like, right, if we're going to be working together, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to do a tutorial, show you how to just record basics, and told me all the stuff that I needed to buy. And then obviously since then I've upgraded and whatnot. Yeah. Sound a little bit more professional. But if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing any of the stuff that I'm doing. So really,
and also I guess all of those lessons, then once you've got those, you're like, now I can live wherever I want to live. Like, exactly. Of course, if you want to stay in London, fine, but if you're like, actually for like my life and like actually my home is the north.
Well, that's what happened when COVID hit and whatnot. I was furloughed. I was nannying back then, but I was only doing part-time nannying, because I was really trying to step away from nannying to try and do music full-time. And my friend who I was living with, she went up to she went up to North London. I can't remember what it was called when you had to not hibernate. I can't remember what it was called. My brain, my God, baby brain.
Isolate, like lockdown.
Yeah, you had, it's like a lockdown thing, and you had to just you weren't allowed anyone round and all the rest of it. So I was in her house, which was a beautiful house in South London, which you didn't even feel like you were in London anymore. It was so peaceful, gorgeous house. And I was just recording every day. I was buzzing. I was still doing top line work. And I was like, actually, I could live on my own. So and I thought, I can do what I'm doing, the studio, anywhere. I can literally just take my laptop anywhere. So after that, I moved to Brighton. And then I was in Brighton for a year. And that's how me and you met.
And that's how we connected. So
absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm trying to think how Trickstar came on my radar.
Yeah,
I can't even remember. Like, I can't, it's so funny because it wasn't that long ago.
We asked to do a mix. I'm sure I heard one of your mixes and I was like, oh, were you going to be a presenter as well?
Yeah, I had a show.
That's right.
But I can't remember how. I think maybe I met someone who was in the process, because they were in the process of changing studios. So they were there was Trickstar Radio that was in Brighton at that time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's still going.
No, I don't think it is either. Don't think so.
I think they were like just closing up their studio, but I was in London and I was looking for like a more of a regular radio show.
Yeah.
And I think they were like, yeah, like step in. And so obviously I think they had a WhatsApp group and I was doing a mix and you messaged on it being like nice vibes or something.
I was like, it's like bit of me, those tunes, like dork.
Yeah, instantly like,
hi.
Hey, I like your sound.
Oh yeah. Once someone's on the radar, I'm like, come on then.
And also I was obviously playing probably playing Janssens and like Luke Van Dyke and people that you were working with.
It was like nice minimal vibe, and I was like, yeah, that is a bit of me. What I remember anyway. Yeah, it was lush. I was like, yeah, she's really good. I loved it.
It was really nice. And I also just remember being grateful that you were like so nice and friendly, because, you know, whenever you join those spaces, you're always like,
what's like, what's everyone going to be like?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of ego, isn't there, in our house music world.
Yeah. And also I think it was at a point in time for me where I've only really been, I guess, in the house scene for like 5 years. I've been DJing for longer, but I started in hip hop and then I kind of transitioned to electronic.
Nice.
And so at that time, I was very much like, I don't really know anyone in this world. And like, I love this music and I love what I kind of feel like I've done my research, if you know what I mean? Like I know my sounds and what I want to play and what I love.
Yeah.
But I don't have any relationships, and so like these kind of spaces like radio were very important for me to just be able to connect with other people that were playing the music that I liked and listen, you know. And so that's why it's like, it's funny, those moments that like stick in your mind just when someone just says you're playing Hey, because it was very important to me at that time.
Yeah,
I mean, even though it sounds so silly.
No, not at all. No, I totally get that, because it's confirmation, isn't it? You're like, okay, so I, you know, and it's trying something new, especially if you come from hip hop. But it's all related. I mean, I've never really met anyone who just says they're just into one style of music. Most people are like, no, I love a bit of hip hop and I love classical, I love everything. I'm inspired by so much, and of course, a good banger.
Yeah, we all love a bit like no bass line.
We do.
How did you find Brighton? Because obviously such a creative.
Oh, I loved it.
Town, and being by the sea.
I loved it. But yeah, first time sort of living on my own, and I loved it so much, but at the same time it was just too expensive. It was far too expensive for me on my own. As an example, when I moved back up here, now me and Paul have got this place together. This is 3 bedrooms, great big huge living room right by the sea, 2 bathrooms. That's exactly what I was paying for 1 bedroom, tiny little flat in. It was like a bedsit really in Brighton. We pay the same for here. So it was like, wow, all this space and all. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was killing my savings.
Yes. Also, you're like, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I can afford to live here, but I can't afford to go outside.
Yeah. And it was just really starting to stress me out. Then I wasn't sleeping very well, and I just had to surrender. And I was like, I'm going to have to go back to Newcastle. But it was fine. And I'm glad that I did. Yeah. And Paul followed anyway 6 months later.
It all worked out.
Exactly.
So at that time, I obviously messaged you and I said, I want to work with you at some point, I hope. I've only just started producing. Yeah. One of the things that I often wonder is, as a vocalist, often you're receiving kind of, a lot of people are reaching out, maybe they're sending you some stuff. How do you decide what projects to work on? And how do you kind of think about that?
Well, it's obviously always entirely up to me. like if I'm feeling something, if I'm not feeling something, then I'll sort of bow down and sort of say that. But luckily that doesn't really happen that much. So my manager, she only manages me. I kind of manage myself now, but if I need her to go over a contract or something really important, she'll always be there, and she'll always do that part, which is amazing. And I'm so grateful to her because she's taught me so much. But when I was kind of in the peak of a lot of releasing, so it was her idea to come up with Medusa. Medusa was my alias, and that's because I was getting inundated with people asking to work with me. And she said, right, let's come out with a more underground sound, and that can be Medusa. And that, well, I came up with the name, and then Mizbee can be more housey, more, stuff that you want to put your name to, which is the main character kind of thing. But she said, her advice was, look at people's Spotify, and then you can decide whether you want it as a feature or not, because you also don't want to flood the market with all Mizbee stuff and, over dilute it. So she was like, just be mindful, I guess. And then it was her idea actually to come up with non-featured work. So the non-featured work is, so now basically the whole point of that story was, now when I'm at this point of managing myself, I decide whether or not I want to put my name to something. So it can be a feature or a non-feature. So there's two options. And that's not always how many Spotify plays they've got or what are the numbers like and whatnot. My brain's gone, baby brain. This is what happens, like literally chat, and then I'm like, now I suppose now that she doesn't manage me as much and I don't need to be so on the pulse and with what have you, if I, like me and you, if I love the person and I love the track, then I'm like, yeah, I want it as a feature. Do you know what I mean? So it's really just personal choice, I guess. Non-features are really handy though, because I still get publishing as well. Yeah. But then I've done, for instance, non-featured stuff, and the tracks have been signed to Ultra. Like, for instance, these American guys I've just worked with, and they're like, Ultra signing it, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Now I could have jumped in there and said, actually, put it as a feature then. But I was like, no, that's cool. The fact that non-features are still doing really well doesn't have to have my name on it, Yeah. So, it's Zeus trying to chip in.
Zeus has got such a point of view on this.
Yeah. He's like, well, I told her to not do that. No.
He's like, it's always got my name on it. I'm always a featured artist.
So, yeah, anyway.
It's interesting, and it's something that I've been conscious of, because it's like, it's not a side of, as I said, because I don't think I've got a very lovely voice. So it's
Everyone
not something
can sing. Everyone can sing. Everyone can sing. That's my motto.
But it's a conversation that I've been aware of, I think particularly over the past year. I know like Kelly Lee has her podcast on it, but some of the issues around like vocalist crediting, and that there are like really big songs out there where the vocalist has not been credited, even though like the foundational element of the track that everyone knows is the hook and the vocal and the song.
And it's happened a lot to me as well. It's happened a few times to me. So yeah, it's really off-putting. It's off-putting and it's frustrating. And if you have a good manager, your manager can, even make sure on email that it's all agreed, that you still get tagged in a post or you still get mentioned. And that sometimes doesn't happen. And you can't do anything about it. You can't be angry with them. Why didn't you put me? It's just like, okay, cool.
Yeah, well, I guess if you're like, nothing, I can't change, like nothing's going to change, so I don't want to be angry about it, because then it just drains me, and they're still...
You still get angry though. You still get annoyed. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely is a trigger. But yeah, it's like, unfortunately, I think it's the producers have more leeway in this. Do you know what I mean? I think it depends who you're talking to though. A lot of people rate that the vocalist has put that little hook on a track and made it catchy. But it has to be seen as 50-50, because it is. It is.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about our collaboration and how that came about.
Beautiful.
It's so nice, and it's like, for me, it's a really nice moment, because it's just like, as I said, so we spoke about, I was looking at our messages to see when it was like 2001, I think. 2021.
Was it? Was it? Crikey. How old was I then?
2021.
Is that when you first said that you wanted to work with me?
Yeah, so like 4 years ago.
So that's been your production journey then?
Yeah, and it really has.
Or more.
And at that time...
you were already on it, weren't you?
I'd started producing, but I just felt like I was kind of making these sort of like minimal house beats, but they just weren't like, you know, when you're DJing and then you start learning to produce, you're playing music from like your favorite producers, and then you mix in your productions, and your first thought is like,
It's apparently really hard to produce minimal, even though it sounds like there's nothing to it. Apparently it's really hard, which I didn't realize. One of my producer friends told me that. I was like, oh,
it's really hard.
Easy. He was like, no bars. My friend Ed, he was like, no bars. It takes ages to craft it. I was like, okay, God.
It's really hard because every element in the track matters very much, and you can't just whack a like harp in there,
whack a bass line in.
Yeah, you can't just like even like picking the right. It's like that. Have you seen that sort of like meme that went viral where it's like what people think is producing versus what is producing, and it's just someone going through different snares.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It's literally like that. You're like, why is this not right? Why is this not right? And then you're like, oh, I've got the wrong bongo sample on the.
Yeah, well, it is. It's loads of layers, isn't it?
It's so many layers, and I mean, like, my tracks tend to have like. Sometimes they've got like 60 layers in, and you're taking things out and in, and you're trying different pads, and
so it's not a strip back as you think it is. Minimal.
No, yeah. I mean, it's like they say that the best tracks have the least layers, and sometimes I think that's true, but genuinely sometimes it's like, oh no, you did need that little riser just in there because otherwise it wouldn't have made sense to go into that next phase of the track, etc.
Yeah,
yes,
I loved how on the track that you sent me to work on. Now that I DJ. I'm listening differently now, I suppose, because obviously I'm understanding about bass, and I love how the bass comes in, and it's as if you've mixed a tune. That's what it sounds like, and then you put the bass on, and I'm like, oh, I like that. Like that.
It like rolls in.
Yeah, and it's like, turn that bass up. Yeah, it's class. It's a beautiful track.
But it was the coolest process for me because I'd like genuinely gone through something that was like quite personal. I'd known, so I'd like decided that I had this idea for this project, I guess, that I wanted to make the year before. And then I went on this trip and was like, okay, I've got to make a song each day.
Yeah.
And there's some couple of like old like Apollonia type songs that I was listening to a lot.
Yeah.
That were like
He's one of my favourite DJs. He's mint.
Oh, he is so good.
Your face. He is. No, he's mint. He is mint. He's mint.
I think the thing is like, it's funny because I'm not someone who like, I guess, idolizes people when it comes to like artists and stuff. But I listen to music all the time. And then when you're producing and you listen to their tracks and you're like, how did you do it?
Yeah.
Because it's like the actual like chance of elements coming together in a certain way that it just sounds so delicious.
He's French as well, isn't he? So it's probably a bit of that as well, mixed in.
Bit of the je ne sais quoi.
Aye. He's a mint DJ. I stood behind him once in this tiny club in London called The Nest. And I didn't really want to be in the booth because it's a tiny booth anyway. But the promoter fancied this French girl, I was with, funny enough. And, I was like, I don't want to be in the booth. Like, I just want to dance because it's chunky. And anyway, this wristband got slapped on me, and I just was like, stood, and I was just watching everything he was doing. I didn't even DJ then, but I was like, I was mesmerised. He turned around, he was like, right. I was like, oh, mint tunes. I was literally loving it. He was just buzzing away. I was like, oh, he was so professional. Like, yeah. Anyway, it blew my mind.
But yeah, that was like the sort of. I wanted to make a track that was like radio friendly, but from that kind of space and from that lane. Yeah. So once I sort of made the track, and I was like, okay, this is sounding kind of good. Yeah. And I was like, I really hope Fay would be up for vocaling it for me.
Bless you. Oh, it really sticks in my head that. Yeah. Alright. It's honestly that little verse. I don't know what to. Yeah, it's just an earworm. Just like it's all in my head, which is good.
Yeah,
it's lush. I'm playing it tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night. Friday night. Yeah, I'm gonna play it. Woohoo!
Send me a little vid.
I shall.
But yeah, I was wondering how the writing process was for you. You wrote really quickly. I mean, I feel like the lyrics down in like 2 hours or something. I know there was like tweaks and there was a second verse, but And also that is the word revelation, I thought was just a really interesting word,
How did I get that? You'd given me the subject, which is obviously great for me, because I'm like, okay, I've got something, a bit of meat to get into. And, and I was imagining that I was you and that I was in Bali and it's paradise and, lush weather and it's beautiful. And luckily I have actually been to Bali. I just consume myself and visualize that I'm in that place if I'm given the subject. And then revelation, I was looking at different words for revelation and what it means. So whatever I'd put in, which I can't remember actually, or whatever I'd put in, I think revelation had come up and I thought, ooh, I'm going to work it around that. So that's what went in, and the rest just flowed. It really flowed.
Yeah.
So
it's the coolest thing to me to be like, oh wow, someone's just basically put a song, song words to my feelings.
GPT or whatever. Yeah. Not that I've ever used Chat GPT, but hey, AI lady, come here.
Literally, and you're like, yeah, that's right. Thank you.
That's what I do. Thanks.
That is what I think. That is what's going on. Now I can sing about it.
But have you been looking at my journal, Faye? No.
Literally.
You spooky bitch.
My journal will be way more chaotic, way less poetic. I don't care that.
Get it all out.
Yeah.
Get it all out. Yeah. But it's lush, and it's a lush track, man. It really is.
Thank you. I'm very
well done.
I'm excited to release it, and likewise, lush vocal. That brings me on to my next question, which is the voice is a very personal instrument.
It is.
And obviously, you do vocal coaching, but also sound healing. So I was wondering what your relationship with singing and writing is. Is it a sort of healing thing for you, or is it like work?
It can be healing, because you are releasing. It's another way of releasing without the tears, or it can make you cry. So yeah, it can be a healing tool. The voice, I mean, I've just started these sessions called voice activation sessions, and it was something that I was taught by my lovely friend Sam, I was in a sisterhood with her, and she was a Reiki master, and she was so knowledgeable.
Ooh.
And she taught me how to activate my voice, and we did it on a call, and I was blown away by it. And I was like, it's a mad process what you do, but it really encourages growth, because how you do it, you feel really freedom in the voice. It helps with self-expression, creativity, loads of things. It's like a really great tool. And I parked it anyway. And then when I started doing my vocal coaching, which is I've got a very holistic approach to my vocal coaching, I now incorporate voice activation in the sessions. So it's just a little exercise that we do, and then it's now turned into a session of its own. So I did one in here last night, and it was really powerful. I had all these women sitting in a circle, and we're just really letting go of whatever comes out your mouth. Basically, that's the whole point of it. You sort of sit in mindfulness and you get in touch with yourself, kind of thing. But it's almost like channeling. It's like channeling light language, or just whatever comes to you. There's no right, there's no wrong. And it is so powerful. And I've always said the voice holds the highest of healing power. It really does. It raises the vibration. It makes you feel mint, like you can sing anywhere, anyone can sing, like it's fun, it's playful, comes from the soul. So yeah, I use it as a healing. I use that as a healing technique, definitely.
Yeah.
And the writing process, depending on what I'm writing, it can be as well. But I think that's the answer.
It's like they say that choir is really good for your mental health, being part of a choir.
Yeah.
Honestly, which I really get.
Really, because your brain and your memory function, like having to remember words and lyrics and stuff. Not that I can remember any of mine. Even house music, when it's sometimes a repeated phrase, and if I'm doing a live PA, I've got to write it on my hand or write it on my phone. I'm like, everyone's like, you really written that down? I'm like, because my brain just stops when I'm nervous. I'm like, I can't remember what I'm doing. Yeah, apart from that, but it does help with brain and memory function. Promise.
When you play your tracks out, are you tempted to kind of
sing along?
Yeah.
Well, funny you say that, actually, because yesterday when I was having not yesterday, was it Monday? Monday I was having a practice and working out what tunes I'm going to play on Friday, because I'm very much I'm very early stages of DJing, and I do not care to admit this, but I try and get a set together if I can, because I'm too nervous on the day. Like, if it was me and you playing back to back now in the studio, I'm in flow, or me on my own, I'm in flow. I'm like, oh, that tune will go lush with that, and din. If I put that on a little bit of a loop, that's in key with this one and all that kind of stuff. But when I'm doing a live gig, I'm like, ooh, technical, and I get really nervous. So I try and get a set together, what have you. And on Monday, I really felt the urge to sing, so I was like, right, plug the mic in. And I was doing little bits and bobs. And actually, I worked out this set's got about 3 or 4 Mizbee tracks in. And I didn't mean it to be like that. I just thought, I don't really get a chance to just play all the house music. So, well, I do, but I don't. And when I play at the cooler nights, like Special Delivery, I try not to play my own tunes because I'm a bit like, it's a bit cheese. But for this one, I'm going to. And I was singing along and stuff. And then I had to message my friend Joey. My friend Joey, who's a lighting guy, and he does sound and everything. I was like, Joey, right, it's on Instagram. I was like, right, I plugged the mic in. I'm really having a good time here. But how do I get the effects on? He was like, right, Face, all you need to do is switch it from whatever you've got it on just to mic. I went, yeah, I knew that. I actually knew that. And I was like, and he was like, you crack me up. I went, I know, I'm a divvy. So I had the reverb on and I was like, ooh, which was cool. And then so my friend Gaskin, who is Bass Jams crew, Gaskin set me a task a while ago, and he was like, I think it would be mint, he went, if you could crack the DJing and then the live ad-libs and the live singing. But I said, I wouldn't do it in my own songs, especially not Bass Jams. I wouldn't do it in my own songs because that would be a bit cheesy. Also, I would only do that if it was a live PA. And I was going to
give the people what they want.
No, but I know, but I'm not like, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe sly one in if it was a cool one, but because I come up with melodies and stuff so quickly, and obviously I sing live to drum and bass and whatnot, and that's all freestyling, literally. Yeah. Again, it's channeling, really is. He was like, if you can nail them two together, you can have a set at Bass Jams. I was like, right, okay, I've got a challenge here. And I thought, nah, I need to really master the DJing properly first, and the nerves. Yeah. And then just have a mic set up for when I feel like I want to do a little bit of a cool little ad-lib or something. Maybe.
The other thing that I find sometimes is like, I've obviously been DJing for quite a long time, but still, if you get a lot of people talking to you when you're playing.
Yeah, I know. And you're like, I'm looking at the time of it, man.
Like, I've got like 2 minutes until this is coming. I know. I'm trying to be polite. I should be less.
I've realised it now. Like, I used to chew people's ears off, and I'm like, actually, now I realise I'm like, let the man or woman do their job. They are on stage performing, because I'm like, I've got to listen to the phrases. I've got to know, like, oh, actually, that should. I'm quite a. Not what's the word? I don't take risks with DJing. Like, I usually on the last phrase after the last drop, then I'll mix it in or whatever. But then if it's a tune that's like literally just can go on and go on and go on, I'm like, actually, yeah, you've still got to count. Actually, that should now come in gently to this one and blah 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 and blend. Whatnot. But I love it. I love DJing. Like, it's great.
Yeah. So my next question for you is, what are some of the moments that you felt really grateful to be on the journey and in the space that you are in?
Do you mean in the house world or in real life?
Yeah.
That's going to say.
Let's start. In real life is big. Let's start in the house world. Then we can say.
I was like, well, I'm a mother. That's quite a big thing. No, in the house world, like a proud moment.
Yeah, proud moments. Also, just fun moments.
Obviously, hearing your tunes on the dance floor is always a buzzer. And then I feel like I've become a little bit, not arrogant to it, but it came like not second nature. What's the word I'm looking for?
Just like normal.
Yeah, like
used to it.
For instance, someone would send me a video of some big DJ playing something, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, because I'd seen it loads, but it looked like I was being ungrateful, but it wasn't. It's just because it became the norm. And my friend Jack, who puts on Special Delivery, he was like, that's cool that you're seeing it like that now. You're just taking it in your stride, sort of thing. And you went, because we're all buzzing. He was like, that's a massive achievement. I was like, oh yeah, is it cool? Yeah. Or maybe it's because I was becoming a little bit coming away from house music then. Maybe it was when I was just become a mom or whatever. And but I guess those moments on the dance floor when you're with your friends, especially at the beginning of the journey, and it was big DJs. I was like, oh my God, it's dropped me tune and all that sort of stuff. So that was cool. Friends still buzzing. Like my friend Jade, she sends me videos just like, this one, she's from Liverpool, this one makes a banger. It's her like singing and dancing to me tunes, and I'm like, it's people like friends like that. I'm like, oh, hey, that's lush, because you don't get that all the time. Do you know what I mean? And they're just me pals, but I'm like, you keep us going with stuff like that, because sometimes you forget, and sometimes you think, especially after having Luca, I was like, I don't think I'm good enough anymore. I don't think I'm meant to be in this world. I'm not cool enough. And then you'll get a little compliment or a video or a message like that, or someone going, look at such and such playing your tune. Like, I'm like, oh, actually, maybe I have still got it. It's a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I remember you saying something like that to me when we were like working together. I think it was like January. You were like, I've just been in this place of just kind of questioning exactly like what big. This is for me now. Like,
it's big, yeah. It's a big, big shift having a parent, becoming a parent. Yeah. A lot of doubt, and I think a lot of it's to do with sleep deprivation, which just makes you, and hormones and all the rest of it, it just makes you doubt yourself, and you just think, am I just a mother now, and this is my role? And you've just got to be easy with yourself and say, things will calm down, things will come back, but only if they're meant to be, and there's a lot of letting go and surrendering, and
and I think because it's such a visible industry, like, most people in their career, you're not being watched all the time, but the literal job in music and entertainment is like having an audience. So there's often that question of if you feel like, or I often feel like, if I haven't put something out, if I haven't posted 3 times on my social, people are just going to think that I'm like not actually doing anything. And then
I know, but do people even think like that?
I don't think people are really thinking about any of it. I don't think anyone's thinking about me.
Exactly, but you do though, and this is what this is what social media does to you. But I think most artists go through that, and it is tough, and you have to be posting all the time, all that stuff. But I think after I had Luca, especially with the posting, something shifted massively, and I was like, I cannot be asked to post. I can't.
Yeah.
It takes ages to do a frigging reel, and I've got
a baby. So long.
I know, just to get everything bloody right. And I was like, I wasn't bothered. I actually just started to become more and more less bothered. And I thought that is good, actually, because I feel like there's some sort of healing's been done around that, because prior to that, it was like, oh my God, I have to have this, and I've got a release schedule and do it. And it's like, who gives a fuck? Pardon my French.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. But, anyway, I guess the ones who get to the top, they have to, but then eventually they have someone doing their social media and whatnot. But it's part of the game. It's part and parcel of the game, isn't it? So
it is. But I also think the nice thing is it's like you have very deep roots, as you say, like you've known a lot of these people for a long time, and the relationships are going for a long time, and probably like, I don't know how long you've been working with Bass Jams, but their growth has just been they've crazy over the past few years.
Absolutely rocketed, and I'm so proud of them, and they're a real family. They really are a family. And I've met various different crews, let's say, over the years, and some have been cliquey, some have been you're not in sort of thing, even though I would be been working with one of the producers, let's say, or whatever. Or I think people the ego gets a bit big, and people change, and people up their backsides and all that kind of stuff. But with the Bass Jams lot, they have never changed. They're so welcoming. You go to their shows, all their family's there. I mean, their mum, me and Paul chat to Gaskin's mum all the time. On Instagram, she's coming to our wedding. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, we're like near his mum's age. We'll laugh about it. But they're mint. They're mint people, and they deserve it because they're grafters. Do you know what I mean? Like, they put the work in, and they're really switched on. I remember saying to Gaskin at Fabric, this was a while ago, they were playing for PIV. It was a PIV night, and I was like, I was pissed, obviously. I was like, you are switched on. Like I said, you start a party, you get your headliners in, you get a relationship with your headliners, and you become, because you just sound, and then eventually those headliners choose you to come play their parties and whatnot, and then obviously the label and stuff. I was like, it's switched on, and everything's in house. There's no agency. They're not signed to NGE or whatever. And their manager is one of their friends. And it's just very well done. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And they've got their sound. And they've got their sound, and they're smashing it. So yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I think their sound it's like the sound and the crew like to sort of take off together.
Everything. Yeah, everything. And it's lush. Yeah, it's really, really lush. Yeah. I'm working on a tune for him and Elle at the minute, actually. See how that goes.
And so how are you structuring your time at the moment? I know it's something we've been speaking about just in general, but you've got your sort of days when Luke is at nursery, and those are your professional days, I guess. Your writing days, your recording days,
cleaning the house days,
just general got stuff to do in my life days.
Can I have 5 minutes days?
Have a cup of coffee and just sit down and be like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, just the structure. What's the structure like?
I guess I put time aside for projects and whatnot if I can, and like other jobs, like literally cleaning because the house is big, so cleaning the house is like one of the days or whatever else. But again, as you will know, being creative, if you've had a rubbish sleep with a said baby, it can really mess with things, because I'm just like, I've got nothing to give to this project. I can't just muscle it up from anywhere.
Yeah.
Muscle or rustle it from anywhere. I've got to really be in the right energy space to not produce, but produce. Well, so produce, record,
right, yeah.
Your voice, all this stuff that you've got to think about. Yeah, you've got to be in the right headspace as well, and you can't force it. You can't force creativity. And in those days when you can't, then you need to be kind to yourself and say it is what it is, and those people can wait. And I've learned that as well from, I guess, from doing spirituality, from being more spirituality and stuff. Being more spiritual. I knew I'd get there eventually. Baby brain.
I like being more spirituality.
I like being more spirituality in that. Namaste. You knew what I meant. You know I was going there. Oh my God, baby brain is a real thing, man. I think I had it before I had Luther anyway, so God, not helping. But yeah, just be kind to yourself, and if you can't, you can't force it. So and it'll come, timing. I believe in timing.
I think it's so hard. It's like I find it with when I'm juggling various like just competing priorities, like needing to earn money, needing to like. Sometimes you're like the only free time I have, then I have a gig in that time. So then I'm like,
and you've got to prepare for that. And it does, and now I know with teaching, it does take prep, and you've got to practice and, all that stuff. And then, of course, me healing work as well. If a client books in, it might only be for an hour and a half, but there's the prep beforehand. I've got to cleanse the room, I've got to set up, all that stuff, give them time to come out of whatever I've done, the sound healing and whatnot. That can take up half a day. And then I've only got a few hours left to do stuff. So,
Okay, my final question for you is, what is your favourite place on the planet?
Oh, I love that question. You know what? I thought of straight away. I'm so soppy. My little home with my boys. I'm a softie, aren't I? Unless I'm due on. Stay away from me. Yeah, home here, just here by the sea, home with my boys. That is my favourite place to be. Yeah, definitely.
That's the answer that you want, isn't it? Because you're like, that is accessible to me.
Absolutely. Good job I live here.
Yeah, good choices.
Good choices, man. Good job. I love it. No, I love it. I love it. I love coming home. I do. Yeah. Slush. I am a real home bird. I get that from my mum. Bless her. So yeah.
Safe space.
Absolutely. Space. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your journey with me.
Thank you so much for having me, my darling. Thank you.
I'm excited. By the time this comes out, our release will
I was going to say, the date, the 26th of September?
September, yeah.
Yeah, exciting.
Exciting. Where are you playing this weekend?
I am playing at a bar called Tokyo in Newcastle.
Okay, fun.
That holds a lot of memories for me. I've been going there since I was early 20s to that bar. And I've seen it change hands. And I remember when I worked in a beautiful ribbon shop called Vivi Rouleau, which is French, actually, again, the French connection.
Bit of a theme.
I remember going to dress the windows for them. And, I always thought it was such a cool place. And for me now to be doing a gig there, I'm like, whoa, that's mad. I never thought it.
I was thinking earlier, actually, when we were talking about it, is that there's often that thing when you start like on the outside of something, you're so excited by every small part of it, and you're so like, that would be incredible, that would be incredible. And then once you start working in it,
it becomes
all of those things become the norm, and almost like the base level where you're like, oh, if I don't get that gig, then what am I like? And it's so so hard to do, but it's so nice to try and pull out again. And as you said, be like,
be humble.
Cool bar.
Yeah. And just realise the connections.
Yeah.
Instead of just going, oh yeah, I've got a gig then, you know, it's like, that's ego, isn't it? So
it's all right, but like, whatever.
I'm like, I'm buzzing me.
Yeah.
I'm also petrified, but I'll be fine. My friend April's coming with me and she DJs, so
great.
Paul's babysitting, otherwise he's usually my right hand man when it comes. It's just the technical side of things.
You'll be great.
I'll be fine.
It will be fab.
You'll be fab. Well, thanks for having me, my love.
Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day and have fun this weekend, and send me a video if you can.
I will definitely, and you too. Lots of love.
Bye.